Welcome back, divorce me. The divorce paper is inside. I had just returned home with my newborn daughter. I was stunned by this sudden and cold rejection, and my husband tried to leave the house. I grabbed my husband's arm and demanded an explanation. What do you mean divorce? I don't understand unless you explain it to me. Nothing. It just means that I don't love you anymore. I could only despair at his words. Was I the only one who was excited about the birth of our child and the prospect of our family life together? And then my husband left the place with a large baggage, not seeing his child's face until the end. I am Nayla, a 35-year-old housewife. I am a weak person, and I started dating my husband because I was attracted to his positive attitude and his willingness to pull me into everything. A year later I got pregnant, and that's when my husband and I got married. And he said, "Wah. Wah." I finally met my little angel, weighing 6 pounds. My baby, a very healthy and adorable girl. I emailed my husband a picture of my daughter, and then I phoned him, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing from him. What's this? What? She's not cute. I mean, she looks like a monkey. What are you talking about? She's your daughter. Then my husband stopped contacting me, and no matter how many times I called him, he didn't answer. I was just in shock and couldn't understand why he would say such a thing to my child. In retrospect, my husband never showed much interest in the baby in his arms and was always on top of everything. I had always felt uneasy about him, but I was so busy enduring the terrible morning sickness that I pretended not to notice his indifferent attitude. During the hospitalization period after the birth, my husband did not show up at the hospital, and my anxiety grew even greater. I was sure that Walter would change once he met this baby. I chanted the same words over and over again like an incantation and told myself so. But my wish never came true. My husband disappeared without me and our newborn daughter. I had no one to turn to at a time like this, so what was I going to do? I have no parents, and the only relatives I have are my parents-in-laws. My father-in-law is a quiet man and treats me very kindly, while my mother-in-law is very harsh, and I honestly had a bad feeling about her. Nayla, how long are you going to be a housewife? What? Don't be lazy just because you're pregnant. Don't depend on your husband, get a job and work. But Walter wants me to take care of the family. I don't want to hear excuses. From now on, you'll have to manage both childcare and work. Is that clear? In this tone, my mother-in-law and I were not on the best of terms, so I knew I couldn't rely on my parents-in-laws. I could only lament the situation, but anyway, I opened the front door and went inside to put my daughter to sleep in her cot. However, there was a strange sight spreading out before me. What is this? The crib, baby equipment and furniture I had prepared for my daughter were all gone. All that was left was my few belongings, and the divorce papers were on the floor. I couldn't stand there and collapsed to the floor. Then I received a phone call from my husband. Maybe the divorce was just a bluff. Maybe he'll reconsider and come home. I immediately picked up the phone in sweet anticipation. Hello? Where are you? You need to get home. I forgot to tell you, I sold that house. You can leave tomorrow. You're lying. What are we supposed to do? Go homeless or something? I was shocked. How much pain does my husband have to put me through? I couldn't hold back my sobbing and demanded an explanation from him. He told me he was divorcing me out of the blue, and he even took me to his house. What did I do? Did you even look in the mirror when you got pregnant? What do you mean? Every day you look so pale, I thought I was living with a ghost. He sniggers and continues, this time in a colder tone of voice. I married you because you are a woman who listens to everything I say. But now I regret it. What? I'm divorcing you because I'm tired of your introvert. That's not fair. You're too selfish. I have nothing more to say to you. Get your stuff and get out of that house. Goodbye. At that time, I felt hatred towards my husband for the first time. But no amount of blaming my husband would change the situation. I was lethargic, but first I decided to leave the house to buy diapers and milk, which I had run out of. However, my daughter, who had been sleeping peacefully until a few minutes ago, suddenly started crying and would not stop no matter how much I tried to soothe her. My daughter must have sensed my impatience to do something for her after being betrayed by my husband and losing our house. I was sitting on a bench in a nearby park, trying to calm her down, when an unexpected person appeared. You can't let a baby out of the house when it's less than a month old. How insane you are. You should know you're a mother now. What, your mother-in-law? You don't understand anything at all. How are you going to take responsibility if something happens to this child? Apparently, she knew the day I was to be discharged from hospital and came to my house to ask for us. But we weren't home, so she went towards the baby's cries and found me. My mother-in-law cursed me a lot, and at the same time I was filled with all sorts of emotions, and I started to cry with sobs. Then I felt something warm on my back. I didn't mean to make you cry. But why are you here? Where's Walter? You have to explain to me what happened. My mother-in-law is gently rubbing my back, trying to soothe me. Bewildered by the kindness of her, which I had never seen before, I slowly told her what had happened. Walter did that. It's unforgivable. If you don't have a place to live for the time being, come to my house. But it's fine. Come on, I'll take your luggage, let's go. She urged me to go to her house. And as soon as we arrived, she uttered the surprising words. Let's go and live together. What? Because you have nowhere to go, don't you? Are you going to be homeless with a baby? At least here you can shelter from the wind and rain and eat. Let's do it. I could not hide my confusion. I was a different person from the one who used to treat me badly, giving me a bad word of everything. When I was at a loss for words, my mother-in-law smiled apologetically. I've been cold to you, haven't I? I'm really sorry. No. I told Walter a lot that he should be aware that he was going to be a father. I'm sorry that I couldn't help you. It's not your fault. Raise your head. She dropped her shoulders in disappointment, bowed her head to me and would not lift it. I was in a panic, but decided to ask her the question that had occurred to me. I always thought you hated me. That's why you are cold to me. But is there another reason for that? That, you know, I couldn't stand to be there because it was like looking at myself in the past. Here I came to know a fact that I had never known before. That quiet and gentle father-in-law was an unfaithful man when he was younger. And her husband, who resembled his character, also often had problems with women. Finally, my mother-in-law said, I just wanted you to be a strong and tough mother. That's why I've been so hard on you. I repeatedly told you on foot to get a job so that if we ever got divorced, we wouldn't have to worry about making ends meet. All of her prickly words had a meaning. I was filled with gratitude to know that she was really a warm-hearted person. But why didn't you divorce your husband? If it were me, I wouldn't be able to stand the affair. I would have divorced for sure. That's because, you see, I've been the one who has been supporting the family finances all these years. And by that you mean? He looked down on me, who was a housewife at the time, and kept taking women from me. But I felt a sense of defeat, so I started working too. Then I started earning more than my husband. He didn't want to give up our rich life and he didn't want me to divorce him, so he became obedient himself. So that's what your father-in-law looks like now, after he's repented. That's what I mean. And I thought this was the most appropriate sanction for him, rather than a simple divorce. While I was having this conversation with her, before I knew it, my cheeks had loosened. However, her expression instantly turned serious. By the way, about Walter suddenly saying he's getting a divorce. Could it be that he's having an affair and is doing it to be with someone else? Have you ever felt anything strange about his behavior? Honestly, I have no idea. But I can't just go on like this and do nothing and get a divorce. I took out the divorce papers I had just brought from home from my bag. Wait, this is. My mother-in-law and I looked at each other when we saw the form. Then we decided to make a plan with a certain determination. The next day, my mother-in-law called her husband to carry out her plan. Nayla told me you divorced her. Has she already told my mother? What are you talking about? I feel great. It's a good thing you divorced her. Next time, marry a younger, better-looking woman. I know, right? I don't want to see her bitter face again either. She's probably living under a bridge somewhere by now. What a pathetic person. My husband seems completely convinced that my mother-in-law hates me. I was so angry with my husband, who was so excited that he didn't even know I was listening to his conversation. But there is hell to come for my husband. Actually, there's someone I'd like to introduce you to. Oh, you've already found someone to marry next? Well, yes. I'm going to wrap up $1 million in a month's time, and I'm going to give you the whole amount as a gift. Really? Of course. In return, I'm going to give you plenty of money to celebrate with, so make sure you introduce me to your partner. Until then, don't be too hasty in getting married. Okay? Okay. Then I'll take the other person to my parents' house in a month's time. Take care of the congratulatory money for me. She is a great actor. My husband fell right into our plan, and my mother-in-law and I looked at each other and smiled. And I decided to prepare under the radar for the day to come. A month later, unaware of the trap he had fallen into, my husband arrived at my parents-in-law's house in high spirits, accompanied by a young woman. I opened the front door as firmly as I could and greeted them with a welcome. What? Why are you here? He was so surprised that he almost fell over, and the woman looked like she didn't know what was going on. My mother-in-law joined them and, overwhelmed by the pressure of the words, "Come in," the two entered the living room. Oh, Mother, what's this all about? Well, Nayla, shall we begin? I confronted her with several photographs of the two of them going into the hotel and a report containing a record of his activities over the past month. I'm claiming alimony from you. With this much evidence, you can't get away with it. You've got to be ready. Wait a minute. How did you gather all this evidence? Your mother-in-law paid for the detective's research. She said it's best to leave these things to the professionals. Mother. Why are you helping this guy? Am I wrong? Who would take the side of such an insane man who abandoned his wife and children to marry the next woman? And what about the $1 million? It was a lie to keep us from getting a marriage certificate for a month. You cheated me. He was furious, and the woman sitting next to him must have had a twisted expression on her face, thinking it wasn't supposed to be like this. I thought I had finally sanctioned them, but then he said these unbelievable words. We're divorced now. There's no way you can claim alimony now, saying I'm cheating on you. Walter is right. I will never pay alimony. Their words left me in awe. The statute of limitations for claiming alimony is within 3 years of learning of the affair. I decided to tell the husband and the woman, who were confidently sniggering without knowing such common sense, a fact. You know what, we are still married. Huh? We haven't served you with the divorce papers you left me. Don't be ridiculous. Why don't you just get on with it? I couldn't accept that you had given me a divorce without any explanation. Above all, do you realize that the day you left me a terrible souvenir? As my husband and the woman looked at each other in confusion, I presented them with a form. This is your marriage certificate, isn't it? I thought I'd lost it, so why do you have it? They were stacked under the divorce papers. You're really careless to leave something like this behind. Yes, the form I had confronted her with was their marriage certificate, which had already been filled out. That day I found it, my mother-in-law and I found out that my husband was going to marry the woman he had cheated on me with. So we decided to gather evidence instead of daring to divorce her husband immediately to prove that he was cheating on her despite their ongoing marital relationship. I will never forgive you for abandoning my family. And you too, Rosetta. I will make sure you pay alimony. As soon as I declared this, my husband's face grew paler and paler. The woman, however, somehow had a look of triumph on her face.
Nah.
I'm glad you're divorcing me. What? Because Walter is rich. He'll pay you alimony as much as you want. Hearing the woman's words, I finally understood my husband's discomfort. My husband is not a well-paid man. And yet, when he turned up for the first time in a month, he was dressed in brand-name clothes. He must have pretended to this woman that he was rich. I assumed that he had sold his furniture, baby stuff and even his house to pay off his affair partner. So I decided to tell the truth to the woman with her nose in the air. Unfortunately, this man is not rich. What are you talking about? His take-home pay is about $1,800. His income is low for his age. I'm sure of it, because I'm his wife. What? It's totally different from what I heard. Wait, Walter, is this woman's story true? What's wrong? You look like a ghost with your face so pale. The woman was furious, perhaps fed up with her husband's inability to say anything. I cancel our engagement. I have no use for a man without money. Wait a minute. Please, don't abandon me. Don't abandon me. I had never seen my husband in such a pathetic state. As soon as the woman told him she was breaking off the engagement, her husband got down on his knees, crying and trying to beg for forgiveness. I became increasingly angry at the sight of her and shouted loudly, interrupting their conversation. That's enough. If you want to fight, do it somewhere else. Get out of here right now. The two were startled by the sudden shouting and suddenly became quiet. Then my mother-in-law, who had been silent for a long time, finally opened her mouth. Walter, you are no longer my son. Mother? What do you mean by that? I'm saying I'm insulating you. Take that woman and leave now. Don't you ever show yourself to us again. Okay. The two of them straightened up in fear of me and my mother-in-law's demonic form. I confronted them with a written pledge I had prepared in advance, and alimony for each of them. I also made my husband promise to pay child support, and they left the house as if they were running away. I filed the divorce papers that day and put an end to my married life with my husband. Later, my ex-husband broke up with the woman, as expected. Moreover, he had even turned to black money to pretend to be rich. He was fired from his job after collection calls were even made to his company, and he had to work a day job to pay $20,000 in alimony and $30,000 a month in child support. Naturally, he also claimed $15,000 in alimony from his cheating partner, and I heard that the woman lost herself to the nightlife to pay it. On the other hand, I have a very good relationship with my mother-in-law, whom I used to have a hard time with. After my divorce and the loss of my relatives, my mother-in-law suggested that I should move in with her, and I decided to take advantage of her kindness. I have also started working and feel that I have gradually changed in the days when I struggle to balance work and childcare. It is probably because she has become a mother and has someone to protect. And it is probably because I am watching my mother-in-law's back from close by. I would like to continue to live a peaceful life with my beloved daughter and my parents-in-law, whom I will cherish for the rest of my life.